All right, so for today's lesson, this is lesson 4, and this is such an exciting week because last week we talked about toxic relationships, how to identify toxic relationships, how to be aware of even toxic conversations within what would otherwise be decent relationships. So at this point, you have the tools to really identify toxicity, and you have the tools to break free from those ties that have been holding you back from those relationships. That would be good, because when you are used to experiencing toxic relationships, good relationships seem like they're impossible, or that there's something that is maybe for somebody else and not for you. Other people have great relationships, other people have support. You somehow can't seem for the life of you to find people who support you and encourage you. So, the question is, where are all the good people? They seem like they don't even exist. It seems like they're so hard to come by. So before I get any further, I want to tell you something. You are all worthy of unconditional love, support, and encouragement. I'm going to repeat that because this is something you really need to understand. You are worthy of unconditional love, support, and encouragement. This is what it should look like. You should have people around you who love you no matter what. You should have people around you who encourage you and support you and who are happy to see you succeed. That's what it should look like. That's what a healthy relationship looks like. But up until this point, you've been surrounded by so many people who are so toxic to your well-being that you don't even understand what a good relationship looks like, because you've had so many people who have treated you poorly in the past. So, and I will tell you right now that even having one person who loves you unconditionally, one person who supports you no matter what, one person who says, you know what, if it makes you happy and you're not hurting anyone, go for it. If you have one person who is there through the rough times to be that shoulder for you to cry on, that person you can confide in with anything that's going on in your life, and that one person who you can go to, that first person you want to tell when something super exciting happens, because you know they're going to jump for joy because they're so excited that you're excited, and they're so happy that you're happy. If you have one person like that in your life, consider yourself to be very fortunate, because not everybody has even one person like that in their lives. So how do you find the good people? Because yes, you are fortunate to have even one person like that, and that should be the person closest to you or one of the people closest to you. But where you find your circle, where you find your tribe, you may be starting almost all over again, depending on what the relationships around you look like. You may have to start over, and it's okay. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong up until this point. What it does mean is that now you realize that you deserve to have people around you who support you and encourage you no matter what. You deserve to have people who are happy for you when you're happy. So what I want you to do, this is really interesting. You can even do this with somebody else's profile or with your own. If you're on social media, watch how people react to progress pictures, to positive posts about your success, whatever those posts look like. Or if you're not comfortable posting about your own progress or your own success yet, watch how people react to other people's posts about success and progress. Because you're going to notice that there are some people who are happy when they see other people happy, and they encourage success, and they're supporting people no matter what. There are other people who always have something negative to say. There are people who throw shade. There are people who cast doubt. And this is a pattern of really bad behavior for people. And it is a choice. I'm not excusing bad behavior. You know from the last class, I do not excuse bad behavior at all. This is a choice. When people act that way, they're actively choosing to not support somebody. And not only are they not supporting somebody, they are actively choosing to throw shade at these people for their success. It's like people think there's just a limited amount of success. And if you have success in a certain area, that means I can't have success in that same area. We know that's total crap. There's plenty of success to go around, right? There's plenty of success for everybody. But people think, oh my gosh, I don't know. If this person loses weight, that means I can't lose weight. How freaking ridiculous is that? I mean, seriously, there's plenty of weight loss to go around, right? There's plenty of success to be had. And I use that example because people then understand how ridiculous it is. They're like, but my weight is my own to lose. Exactly, just like your success is your own to achieve. And that stands true for everybody. But some people just don't get that. So, you know, when people start reacting to progress and to success, you're seeing their character. It has nothing to do with the person who's posting. It has nothing to do with you if you're the one posting. It has to do with the character of the people who are responding. So you really want to make sure you're looking at that, because that behavior tells you a lot of what you need to know. Not everything, but it tells you a lot of what you need to know when you're looking at who to actually include in your tribe, in your support group. So there are people who are going to be so inspired by you. You have the chance with everything you do to inspire other people. It's your choice. And it's how you present yourself. If you're having a rough day, guess what? There are people out there who are going to be inspired by the way you manage to deal with that day. There are going to be people who are inspired by the way you're sharing your success and you're encouraging the success of others. There are going to be people who are so inspired by your fitness journey, by your health journey. There are going to be people who are so inspired that you decided that you are worthy of creating the life you deserve. So, you know, with my journey, I can tell you that the support that I found didn't look like I thought it was going to look. And for you, these people may not be the people you think they're going to be. So it's really interesting to see who actually does show up for you, who actually does support you, who encourages you. It's very, very telling in how your future is going to look along your journey. And you know what you were doing before wasn't working. You wouldn't be here if it was working. So starting over again isn't such a bad idea. And it's not so scary. Because if you think about it, if you want to achieve something you've never achieved, you have to do what you've never done. Because if it was working, you would be exactly where you want to be right now. All right, so, you know, throughout my journey, it's interesting because there were certain people I thought would always be there for me, certain family members, certain friends, even certain like Facebook groups, even vegan fitness Facebook groups. You know, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm finding my people. Like, these people think the same way I think. They're going to support me. They're going to encourage me. They're going to be so happy that I finally made progress, that I finally got there to being fit and healthy and happy. But it didn't work that way. There were a lot of people who were so negative, so condescending, throwing doubt and shade. I had people actually blasting, without using my name, they were blasting what I was doing on social media, calling it out as being wrong, calling it out as being short-term, or saying, well, you should never do this, you should never do that. And it was really interesting because those are the people, they weren't actually experiencing long-term success of their own. They were not creating a healthy lifestyle of their own. What they were doing is looking for attention from other people within the vegan community. This happened to be in a vegan group that I was a part of. There were family members who, of course, I thought would always be there, who would throw doubt and shade at me and send messages. How can you possibly think that this is good for you? How could you possibly be putting this information out there? And, oh, you're looking too skinny. Really? Or, of course, like we talked about before, you know, when you start changing your lifestyle and you are vegan, people start being all concerned about your protein and your macronutrients and your micronutrients. They never asked me about that when I was overweight. They didn't give two shits about my health when I was overweight. They never asked about my cholesterol. They never asked, you know, oh, so do you think you're ever going to get fit? Or do you think you're going to, you know, try to be healthy? Or, you know, are you interested in maybe, learning some more about, how much happier you could be if you, got rid of all these toxic relationships. They wouldn't say that because they are toxic, of course. But my point is, nobody is interested in asking me about how I really was when I was fat. Once I got fit, all of a sudden the doubt and the shade started coming in left, right, in between, you name it. So all these people I thought were going to be there just kind of either disappeared or they were actively behaving so badly. I kind of shrunk back a little bit and I felt very isolated, just completely alone, because I thought, oh my God, these people who are supposed to be my friends aren't really my friends. Because if they are your friends, they don't behave that way. They don't. Your friends do not say to you, I love you, but don't you think you should probably look into doing things in a different way because, you're losing a lot of weight, or, I'm just kind of concerned that you're not getting enough B12, something like that, right? And I'm sure you're going to hear this throughout your journey as well, because for some reason, it always comes up when you lose weight, especially when you're vegan. These questions about nutrition always come up. Anyway, and it's a really good opportunity actually to educate people about the health benefits of being vegan, of going plant-based. If you want to do that, if you don't, it's not your responsibility to do so, but it is actually a really good opportunity to say, you know what, that's a great question, and thank you so much for asking. Here's where I get my protein. Here's where I get my B12. I feel so wonderful. I don't even count calories anymore or macronutrients because I know that I have a diet that is so incredibly rich in micronutrients. I don't even have to worry about it because I feel full and satiated, and I'm never in a caloric excess. People tend to shut up when you say that. So when it comes to, changing your life and finding support, your life, you're a completely different person. You've changed, and you're going to go through this as you change. You realize that some people just can't accept the fact that you've created this life you deserve. They want you to go back to the way you were when they were comfortable with you. We talked about that, those toxic relationships. They have stuff to deal with. Please understand it has nothing to do with you. So when you start to see those patterns, we know now what to do, how to recognize that, and how to let those people go, or how to let them go for the moment until they're able to support you. Some of them never will come back, and that's okay. So there are people, though, who are actually going to be happy for you. This is the good news, right? There are going to be people who actually support you. And like I said before, it may not be the people you think would automatically be there. There are actually people who are going to show up for you. They're going to show up big time. And they're going to start commenting on your posts. They're going to maybe text you or call you, depending on how well you know these people. They're going to be so inspired by you. And when this happened to me, I was overwhelmed with gratitude, completely overwhelmed, because I had felt so isolated that I kind of got used to the idea that maybe I was going to go at this alone forever. I was just going to do this. I was going to be this really good role model for my daughter. I was going to make sure she was happy and healthy, being raised well, living a compassionate, cruelty-free life. I was going to be fit and healthy for the rest of my life, no matter what anybody else said. I was just going to go it alone. So when people started actually showing up for me, I was so filled with gratitude, and I still am, because this is where you find your support group. This is where you find your tribe. These are the people you want to hold on to. So these positive changes that you're making, like I said before, will inspire people, and those right people will actually show up to celebrate your success. They're not going to be those people who punish you for it. The people who try to punish you, please know that says everything about how unhappy they are with their own lives. Okay. And we all have people like that. I know that it is so, so tough. And these people, it's really interesting because they kind of come out of the woodwork to, criticize you or to try to punish you for your success. So when the people actually start showing up for you to celebrate that success, you're going to be completely, it's going to be one of those things where you're like, I can't believe these good people actually exist and they're supporting me. I can't believe it. It's like, what is it, Sally Field, who's like, they like me, they really like me. It's that feeling of, oh my God, I can't believe this. There are actually people out there who are halfway decent or like super decent, 100% decent. I just can't believe it. This is incredible. So, and there are really good people out there, you guys. There are some really messed up people. And, you know, we all know what that's like because we're all a little bit messed up too. But there are people who choose to look at their messed up as a part of their story. And they use that to inspire others because they have started healing, or they're seeing healing in others, and they're inspired to start the healing process. So you're going to see these people who are like, hey, listen, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect either. I'm inspired by you because I want to be better. I want to get better at doing me, at being, you know, true to myself and living my best life, finding my purpose. I want to create my best life. I want to create the life I deserve. They're going to see you and have those feelings. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. So, and now when it gets into the mindset of why things are the way they are, there's actual proof of this in the scientific world. So, and this is why news channels focus on negative news, because people love sad stories and stories that are, you know, downers, stories that are negative. And the thing is, news channels have higher ratings when they air things that are shocking in a negative way. And this is proven because they get you in with the negativity, and it does something to your brain where you become addicted to the negativity. And so then people keep watching and watching and watching, even if nothing changes in an hour. If it's something super shocking and negative, you're going to keep watching. Now, you could do something so much more productive in that hour, but that's the way the human mind works. And they figured this out in a way so that people are marketing things in a way to kind of pinpoint that spot in your brain that's so easily addicted to negativity. And this translates to relationships in this way. When somebody says something about feeling sad or upset, or depressed about something, people kind of latch onto that because, you know, misery loves company. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, they want to be there, and, you know, they want to show support, but they don't really want to show support. They just love seeing that somebody's down and that somebody feels maybe worse than they feel. And it's really crappy because, you know, the fact that somebody would, you know, comment on something like that, but, you know, make a negative comment or not support you when you're doing well, okay, that really says something about their character, that they are more likely to actually show support, it's fake support, when you have something terrible happen in your life than when you are experiencing success. That is really, really crappy. Really crappy. And like I said, if it's somebody who doesn't support you when you're doing well and support you in your success, they don't mean it when they say they're going to be there for you when you are at your worst, because they will not be there for you. They may be there to like it or to make a comment because they really want to see what's going on, get the dish, you know, what's the low down dirt about your life, what's going on, but they don't really care. They don't really give a shit. They're just happy to see that you are vibrating lower than they are. It's the way the mind works, unless you find a way to reprogram your mind. And this is something that is so important, because positivity, I'm not talking about fake positivity. You know that all of your emotions need to have a space at your table, letting them have the room to just be there, to experience, allow yourself to experience every emotion that you experience, because that is so important. When you stifle those emotions, you know that they can bubble up in a lot of really negative ways, because you need, for your mental health, your spiritual health, and your physical health, you need to allow all of your emotions to have that space at your table. And it's okay to let them go, right? We know this about, especially negative emotions. Use those in a productive manner instead of allowing them to take over and control your life. So changing your mindset in the way of, you know, finding your tribe and the way you really think about support actually starts with you and how you show support, okay? And I know this seems counterintuitive, but it's not, because you're thinking, well, Jane, you know, I need support from other people. I really want to find my tribe. I really want to know, like, who can I have in my circle? Because I've cleared out that dead brush. I now understand how to identify toxic relationships and toxic conversations. I have the tools now to stand up for myself in a productive way. I know when to cut people out. I know when to break those ties. So why should my behavior change in order to find my tribe? Here's what I mean. So when you first wake up, avoid going on social media for the first little bit. If you have a certain way you like to do things, there's a certain structure to your morning, like maybe you like to have coffee, you like to have a juice, you like to exercise, doing something like that, or you like to meditate at first, doing those things before you check social media is essential because you are setting the tone for your whole day. Then once you've done a few other things, go ahead and check on social media. But what I want you to do before you just start scrolling is this. Before you post anything, like people's stories, like their posts, post positive feedback, positive comments, show your love, show your support. I'm not saying that you should show love and support to something that doesn't resonate with you. Obviously, if it's something that does not resonate with your spirit, I'm not asking you to be fake. What I'm asking is when you actually show your support to other people, you start having this mindset of being in control of that positive aspect of your reaction to things. Because we think of reactions as being something completely out of our control. But when you start looking at reactions as being something that you actually have the power to change and control in the best way possible, all of a sudden your mindset changes. So go through, like people's stuff. You never know. The thing is, somebody's day could be completely made by you liking their post. If they say, I'm so excited, you guys, we finally bought a house. We've been looking forever. And we're just so thrilled that we finally found some place that we were able to afford, or we found some place where we could fit all of our pets, or they found some place, they were looking for a tiny house and finally found, whatever it is. Let's say something like that. Well, it would be easy to be like, well, you've got it made, so, whatever, you don't need my support. But what you don't understand is that you liking that or loving it and leaving a comment of, I'm so happy for you, congratulations, that could set the tone for their entire week. That could make their day. And the fact that you have the power to have that big of an impact on somebody is super empowering, because you realize that you actually have the opportunity to change somebody's life for the better. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. Changing your mindset about how you show support changes the way, it changes the way you tolerate a lack of support, people's criticism, and the way people support you and how you're going to find your tribe. So once you start rewiring your brain, you're going to look for people, you're going to look for stories, look for things to like or to love, to leave a positive comment. You'll really start celebrating with people, because they're going to be people who inspire you. They're going to be people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, you guys. I was able to give up meat for a week. Oh my gosh. Please, please, please give them encouragement, give them support, tell them how amazing it is that they were able to do that. Instead of saying, yeah, well, it'd be great if you went full vegan. Instead of doing that, say, this is incredible. Congratulations on this progress. I'm here for you to support you along your journey. If you have any questions, let me know. Something like that can just make their day, because getting that little boost from you could mean everything. Okay, so this actually happened to me. This is really funny because I happen to, I like a lot of people's things and love people's things and post positive comments. And this one friend of mine lives in Australia. And so timing wise, I don't always see their posts, but I do try to catch up with people. I like what I see, but I don't see everybody's posts all day long. I actually try to limit my time on social media. But this one person who lives around the world put this post up, and I just said, thank you so much for sharing. This is incredible. Congratulations on your progress. You are so inspiring. And I got back this comment that was about this long. about, oh my God, you have no idea, Jane, how much this means to me, that you're actually looking at my stuff and you're commenting, and that you're inspired by me. Holy cow, I never realized that you would actually be inspired by me, because you're the one who inspires me. I never thought I would inspire you. And this is just amazing. This means the world to me. Thank you so much. And it was just this like 3 paragraphs long of a response to, my like paragraph. I wrote like a nice comment. And then I got a message saying, this just made my day. I didn't think that what I was doing was making a difference. I didn't think anybody was actually noticing. One comment made that person's day. It made their entire week, because I congratulated them on their progress and told them that they inspire me, because I am inspired by people. I look to be inspired by people. Instead of being jealous of somebody's progress or success, I'm inspired. I'm so inspired, because if somebody's doing something and they're successful, they're happy. I'm hoping that they're happy anyway. And I'm so inspired by them, because it might not be something that I would ever do. If it is something I would do, I want to know how they did it. I want to know all the secrets. I want to know everything, because, I might not do something the exact same way. I'm so curious as to how people achieve success in all different ways. Even if it isn't something I would normally do, I'm just curious. Not that I want to necessarily copy them, but I want to learn from people. So changing your mindset is huge. And so, one of those, kind of going along with that idea, is to let go of the way you thought your circle would look, and instead start to cultivate those new relationships. So you're going to notice when people are supporting you and they're really happy for you and they show up for you. Really start talking to those people instead of, thinking, well, my circle is really small, which is good to have a small circle. Be open to the idea that there are other people out there who are actually good people, who are going to show up for you and support you along your journey and afterwards. Be open to the idea that, there are groups out there, pages out there that can offer inspiration. Sometimes you'll find great people, sometimes you'll find really toxic people, but just understand that there are people out there who are going to show up for you in the best way possible, and to cultivate those relationships, saying yes, and instead of saying, I don't know if I really want to do that. Let's say somebody says, hey, will you be on this podcast because your story is super inspiring and I'd love to have you. Instead of going, oh, I've never done a podcast before, I don't really know, or not really my thing, I don't really want to be on camera. Say yes. Say yes, and then figure out how to do it from there. I can offer you tips on how to be a fantastic interviewee. So just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to do that for you. If somebody says, hey, I've got this group, I really would love for you to join this group to see what we're all about, like on Facebook or something. You can always join a group and leave. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally fine. But saying yes to new things, to new opportunities, is actually part of this journey. You've already said yes to creating a whole new life for yourself. So don't be afraid to say yes to new opportunities and new people. And this is how you're going to cultivate your tribe, your circle. And this group here, the Badass Rebel Warriors, this is your tribe. This is a group you can depend on. This is a group you can count on. This is a group who is going to show up for you in the amazing times, through all of your progress, through your struggles too. Because it is going to be a struggle some days. You are going to have days where you feel like shit. Even though you are progressing, you're going to have off days. We all have days like that, and it's okay. This group is going to show up for you during those days to cheer you on and to remind you that this tough time, this tough day is just a moment in time. This is temporary. If it is a rough day, this is a rough time, it's temporary. Continue to show up for yourself, continue to do the work. You're going to progress, and tomorrow you're going to be so glad that you kept moving forward. Even if it seems like a tiny step, don't worry about that. And then saying yes to those people who behave that way. So in this group, you're going to see how support is supposed to look, okay? And so learning how that looks, and that's going to help to rewire your brain as well, because you are going to start showing up for people in the way you want them to show up for you. That's going to help to rewire your brain so that you are focused on actually being there in those good times, supporting people when they're sharing their progress, okay? When they're sharing their success, because that's what you want from other people after all.